I'm just tired. He said it like an explanation, like it covered everything, like it should be enough for me to understand and not ask anything more. And at first, it was, because being tired is normal. Work is exhausting. Life gets busy. People need rest. That's what I told myself. That's what I believed, because I didn't want to question something so simple, so reasonable. I remember the first time we had planned to go out, nothing big, just dinner, something small, something easy. But when the time came, he sat down on the couch and sighed. I'm just really tired today, he said. I paused, looked at him, then nodded. It's okay, we can go another time. He smiled, slightly, relieved. Yeah, let's just stay in. Simple, normal, understandable, and that was enough, at that time. But then it happened again. Different day, different plan, same words. I'm just tired. And again, I adjusted, cancelled, rescheduled, because I didn't want to push him. I didn't want to seem insensitive, because being tired isn't something you argue with, right? Weeks passed, and that sentence didn't change. I'm tired. Long day. Let's do it later. And slowly, those moments started to feel familiar, predictable, almost expected, but something else started to stand out, something small at first, then clearer, then impossible to ignore, because it wasn't just about when he was tired, it was about when he wasn't. I noticed it one evening. He had told me earlier, I don't feel like going out tonight. I'm exhausted. I nodded. Okay, stayed in, let it go. But later that night, his phone rang. He looked at it, and something changed. Not dramatically, just subtly, enough for me to notice. Hey, he said as he answered, his tone different now, lighter, more engaged, more awake. I didn't say anything, just listened, because sometimes you don't need to hear both sides to understand something. After a few minutes, he stood up. I might step out for a bit, he said. I looked at him. Weren't you tired? He paused, just for a second, then replied, Yeah, but it's quick. Quick, simple, convenient. I nodded slowly. Okay. And that was it. No argument, no questions. But something stayed, because that difference, it mattered. He was too tired for me, but not too tired for something else. And that contrast, it didn't feel right. Days passed, and I started noticing more. The same pattern, the same energy shift, the same selective tiredness. Too tired to talk, too tired to go out, too tired to engage. But suddenly, not tired at all, for calls, for plans, for other people. And that's when something changed inside me, because it wasn't about being tired anymore. It was about where that energy went, and where it didn't. I didn't confront him, didn't question it directly, because I already knew what he would say. I'm just tired. So instead, I watched, quietly, clearly. And once you start noticing something like that, you can't unsee it. After that night, I stopped adjusting, not completely, but enough to notice the difference, because for so long, I had been the one making things easier, cancelling plans, changing timing, lowering expectations, all to match his energy, or what he said his energy was. I'm just tired. That sentence had shaped everything, quietly, without me realizing it. But now, I was looking at it differently, not as an explanation, but as a pattern. And patterns, they reveal more than words ever can. The next few days felt normal, at least on the surface. Same routine, same conversations, same distance. But I wasn't the same, because I wasn't accepting things the same way anymore. One evening, I suggested something simple. Let's go out for a bit, I said. Nothing big, just a walk, fresh air, time together. He didn't even think about it. I'm really tired today, he replied. Of course. That line again. Familiar. Expected. I nodded. Okay, no argument, no persuasion, no trying to convince him, because I didn't need to anymore. I just wanted to see something, clearly. That same night, his phone buzzed. He checked it, and I saw it. That shift, that small change in energy. Subtle, but real. The same one I had noticed before. He stood up. I might go out for a bit, he said. I looked at him, calm. Now? Yeah, just for a while. I paused for a second, then asked, Are you still tired? He didn't answer immediately, and that pause, it said more than any explanation could. Not really, he said finally. Simple, quiet, honest, and that was enough, more than enough, because in that moment, everything became clear, not in pieces, as a whole. It wasn't about tiredness, it was about choice, where his energy went, who it went to, and where it didn't. Looking back, I realized something. People don't suddenly stop being tired. They don't switch energy on and off like that. Not without reason, not without intention. Energy follows interest, attention, priority. And once you see that, you understand everything. I didn't react, didn't argue, didn't question further, because there was nothing left to figure out. I had already seen the truth, clearly, without confusion. That night, I didn't wait for him, didn't sit around, didn't check the time, because I wasn't expecting anything anymore. I was just present with what I already knew. When he came back later, everything looked normal. Same door opening, same casual tone. Hey, I replied, my voice steady, neutral. He placed his keys down, looked at me, maybe expecting something, a question, a reaction, but I gave him nothing, because I didn't need to. You okay? He asked. I nodded. Yeah, and I meant it, because I was okay, not because everything was fine, but because everything was clear. That's the difference. Clarity doesn't always feel good, but it feels stable, real, honest. I told you I was tired earlier, he said, like he needed to explain, like he needed to fix something. I looked at him, calm. You were, I said, then added, just not for everyone. Silence, not heavy, not dramatic, just real, because that truth, it doesn't need emotion, it just needs to be said. That's not what you think, he replied, quickly. Of course, that line again, it always comes, but this time it didn't matter, because I wasn't thinking anymore. I was seeing, and there's a difference. I'm not thinking, I said quietly. I'm just noticing. That stopped him, completely, because there was nothing to argue with, no emotion to push against, no confusion to twist, just clarity. Looking back, I understand something. It wasn't about the words. I'm tired. It was about how they were used, when they were used, and who they applied to, because words can sound the same, but mean completely different things. And once you see the difference, you can't ignore it. I stood up slowly, not in anger, not in frustration, just with certainty. He watched me, trying to understand, trying to find something to say, but there was nothing left. Not really. Where are you going? He asked. I paused for a moment, then answered clearly. I'm choosing where I'm not an afterthought. His expression changed, but this time it didn't matter, because I wasn't waiting for it anymore. I wasn't looking for reassurance. I wasn't hoping for change, because I had already seen what I needed to see. And once you see something like that, you don't stay where it's ignored. I picked up my bag, held it lightly, not tightly, just ready, because once you understand where you stand, you don't try to move yourself higher. You just decide if you want to stay there, and if you don't, you leave, quietly, without needing permission, without needing explanation, just with clarity. I walked past him slowly, not rushing, not dramatic,